Now, you are all college students. What's the one thing that you and I are bound to? I'll give you some time to think about it. Okay, time's up. I'll give you a hint. It starts with an M and it ends with a Y, and you probably guessed that hint, and the answer is money, because we're just so rich, right? We just don't have any problems to worry about, right? Not at all. As a matter of fact, most of us have to take out this thing right here, and that is student loans. In my presentation, I'm going to talk about the problem that we face with dealing with student loans, and then I'm going to talk about the solution. I'm also going to talk about the problems with student loans and why I think that it should not be. Now, I'm going to talk about three things, and the first thing that I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about that it's a terrible way to start a career, and the second thing I'm going to talk about is that it prevents risk-taking and doing something you love, and the third thing I'm going to talk about is how it never leaves you. But first, I'm going to go into depth with those things. So let's talk about the first point. It's a terrible way to start a career. Now imagine this. You left college, you did 8 years, you did 4 years, you got your bachelor's, you got your master's, maybe you even got your doctorate. You're ready to go out into the world, you have your diploma, and then you realize, oh crap, I have got boatloads of student loan debt. $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. The average person has about $37,000 worth of student loan debt. Do you know what I could buy with $37,000? I could get a nice car. I could pay the rent forever. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And it's a bad way to start a career, knowing that you've got this pile that you got to deal with. And it just shouldn't be that way. The second thing that I'm going to talk about, it prevents risk-taking and doing something you love. So, I'll talk about why. You graduate college. It's great. You're having a great time. But then you realize, oh wait, the reason I got this degree is so I can make a lot of money. Money, because if you don't have a lot of money, you won't be able to pay that student loan debt off, and you'll have interest that'll pile up and it'll be ridiculous. Money. So, it causes you to get a job that maybe you don't prefer, because you need the money to pay off the student loans. Now, isn't that ridiculous? You can't do a job that you really like. You can't do something that you really enjoy because you need a lot of money to pay off these student loans. American dream, right? I think not. I think not. Now, in this slide, I have an example that says problem. And this is the problem. What if you don't like that job that pays a lot? Well, then you're miserable. Then the whole degree thing was absolutely useless. And this is something that most Americans face, and it's something that needs dealing with. Third thing, it never leaves you. It never leaves you. People are in their 30s and their 40s, and they're still paying off their debt. Did you know that student loan debt is the one thing you can't get exonerated from? You can get exonerated from anything else from bankruptcy, except student loan debt. Except student loan debt, and that's a problem. So, what's the solution? I talked about 3 problems, but I talked about no solution. What's a persuasive speech without a solution? Well, here's the solution. You know why college is so expensive? Because it is funded by the government. If colleges did not get government funding, imagine how much cheaper it would be. I think it would be very cheap. And I think this is something that really needs to be considered, because the biggest solution is first recognizing that there is a problem with student loan debt, because I don't really see people talking about it. I don't see people complaining about it. But it is a huge problem, and it's a problem that every single one of us face, and it's become so normal that we don't recognize there's a problem. And the first step to any solution is first recognizing that there is a problem. And that problem needs to be solved, and that solution is cutting government funding completely from the government doesn't even need to be involved in colleges. And once that's away, then college will be cheaper. We don't need it to be free. I frankly don't think anything is free. It just needs to be lowered a little bit. That's all. That's all. So my conclusion is this. It is totally and solely up to us if we're going to change the future of education, if we're going to change the cost of it. Because right now, it's down the toilet. And I said it, and I'm putting my foot down. Right now, the education department is down the toilet, and not because of the policies or anything like that. It is just simply the debt that people struggle with. And every American struggles with it. It is not the American dream to go out and have to face this debt the second you get out of college. The second you get out of college and go out into the real world, you have to face this debt. And it is up to us if we're going to make the difference. And are we going to speak? It's up to us. It is totally up to us. Anything in the world, anything that happens in America, it's all been up to us. So, I encourage you, make a difference. Write letters, do whatever you got to do. Take a stance on this situation. Make a speech like this to talk about student loan debt and talk about how it can be lowered, because it is a problem and it needs recognizing. Have a great day.